What's up, y'all? It's your girl Wendy coming at you with a video. It is 12:55 a.m. here where I live at. Yes, I am still up. Yes, I know it looked like I ain't been sleep, and the reason why is because I ain't been sleep. And y'all probably like, girl, why you got your bonnet on? Are you part of the Bonnet Chronicles? No, I'm not. Okay, but I created this YouTube channel because I wanted to keep it real on keto. And so I want to show you my face. All up here. Like right here. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like really rashy. And it was scaly, it was dry. And so basically what I'm experiencing, at first I thought it was heat bumps because I've experienced that before. I was a TDY, as a temporary duty station in Arizona, not Tucson, Fort Huachuca, Arizona. And so it's very if you don't know, don't go. But it's very hot and it's very dry heat. So after physical training, PT, what I would do is like my face, like it would look like this, but they would be red and it would be like inflamed. And so I'm like, okay, so I've experienced it before. So I'm just like, okay, I've experienced it before. Oh, let me tell y'all, ain't gonna be no editing of this video. I don't know if I said that already, but I'm not editing this video. I'm just gonna put it up. It's just whatever is said is said. Ain't no corrections about it. So, because we're on a TV fast at my church. And so they started on Sunday. I started on Thursday. And I'll tell you why a little later in the video why I started on Thursday. And so when I say TV fast, that means no TV. That means no videos, no nothing. Not that you can't upload videos, but I can't watch this video back to edit it and to make it all nice and fancy. So ain't gonna be no cool music. Ain't gonna be no Von Juan. Ain't none of that. Ain't gonna be none of that. It just is what it is. So you get me in my raw form. So if I say something, I can't edit it. So, you know. So anyway, I experienced it before at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. So I know what it is. But I continue to see it. So it would go down and then it would come back. And so I'm like, okay, so I started to get concerned. And the reason why I started to get concerned is because I was given a medical diagnosis of chronic idiopathic urticaria with angioedema. So basically, you guys can look it up. So basically it's hives. But not only is it hives, my body swells. So like where certain places where the hives are, they have the tendency to swell. So like it's been times where how boxers like after a match like they got their eye swell, but it's like puffy. Like sometimes like, and it's mainly this eye. Like this eye will be puffy like that, and then this one will be low too. Sometimes they've both been swollen. Sometimes my lips have been swollen. I've had where it looks like I've had the welts around my neck where it looks like somebody had choked me. I've just had it's crazy. And so basically my skin, I know y'all like stop scratching, I can't. It itches. So basically my body thinks my skin is a foreign object. And so with my skin being a foreign object, I'm not allergic to anything. Like there's no medical anything for me that causes it. It just is what it is. It's just, and I've had this since I can remember, since like third grade, is as far back as I remember it, being here. Shout out to my third grade teacher. You probably ain't watching this, but if you are, Mrs. A, you were the real deal. You were the real deal. Anyway, so then so it started happening like March 2014, but I didn't know what it was. And so I used to have to go to the emergency room, so I wouldn't make it to PT in the morning. And so one time it got so bad to where my breathing was very, very shallow. And so I had been going to the emergency room like every 2 to 3 days, so much to the point to where the lady at the front desk knew who I was. She's like, "You back again?" And so when she saw me, she was like, "Oh," she rushed me back because this is the time where my throat, like they were around my throat and I could barely breathe. Like my breathing was very, very shallow. But I want to tell y'all about God. Even as a sinner, and I'm an enemy to him because I'm not saved. And that's what the scripture tells you. You know what I'm saying? Even as an enemy to God, he told me to get up and go to the emergency room. And the reason why I say he said that is because I had already taken the medicine. Because like I said, I had been going 2 or 3, every 2 or 3 days I had been going to the ER. So he was like, no, you got to go. And, because so basically how I took it is like I was on the verge of dying. You know what I mean? And I believe it too, because my breathing started getting more and more and more shallow. But what I praise the Lord even more for the Lord for is that I had taken all that medicine. So I had taken then what's it called, like a special Benadryl. Had taken Benadryl. What is something with a P? It's a steroid. It's a steroid with the P, and then it's something else that they had given me that I had already taken, and so I should have been drowsy. But I had got a call from somebody many years ago. I'm not going to talk about that right now. And he don't even remember it, okay? But eventually, prayerfully, one day we'll talk about why I had insomnia. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a huge point in my life. So, I couldn't sleep no way. And I had taken Ambien too, and I think I was on the 10 milligram. Yeah, so I don't know if you know about Ambien, but Ambien, it don't play. Y'all, when I was driving to the hospital, which was at least 15 miles away, it was like how I'm talking to you right now is the way I was driving. And it was only God. You know what I mean? Like, it was only God. And so, they rushed me in. They gave me a breathing treatment. They gave me an EpiPen. I think they gave me some adrenaline. So fast forward to getting here to the state that I live in now. I'm here, and we had consolidated, so I was living with my brother for a little while. And so I'm thinking, and we're in a new apartment, you know what I mean, because we migrated from Texas to where we live at now. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. I start waking up and I start having like these blotches on my body, and I'm like, okay, well, what's happening? Nobody else is talking about being bit up or nothing like that. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's just my room. So, I'm Lysoling it down and I'm doing all this stuff to prevent it. I'm spraying and all kind of stuff. Didn't matter. Same thing was happening. So I'm like, okay, like, I didn't see no bed bug residue. It wasn't nothing. I'm the only one that's getting bit up. So I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So finally, my primary care doctor referred me to an allergist, and shout out to Dr. B. Because she was she's a real deal. She has her, and I say she was the real deal is because she's now in private practice. She's no longer with the VA. And so she was like, I know what it is, but we're going to do some testing. We're going to do allergy testing and so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. So I got several tubes of blood drawn on that day. And so basically all the tests came back negative. So she told me what it was. And so she was like, I'm very confident that I can manage this. And so, her confidence, and she was very confident. It didn't do nothing. The medication didn't do jack. At first I was like, oh, I'm jamming. Child, please. And so it was to the point to where I had to get with the man of God. I had to get with my senior pastor, and I'm like, hey, this is what's happening, so on and so forth. And so he's so calm. He's so calm and he's so smooth. And so, I took the wisdom of what he said. But honey, like August or September of 2018, it had ramped up in such a way. It was like hives on steroids. Okay. Like almost every day, like my eyes were swollen. I had never seen it like that before. And so they're very uncomfortable. They itch, they burn. And so I was just like, man, I'm like, something has got to give. So when I still take the medication that I've been given to this day. It still, doesn't do what they say it's going to do. And I'm not going to take the shot because for me, when you take the shots like Botox, and I forgot the name of the drug that it is, but Botox and that other stuff that you're shooting in your body, I'm like, okay, I don't want to experience those side effects. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want a black liver. I don't want green cheeks. I don't want to be looking like an alien from outer space because I done took this because the hives were uncomfortable. But also because, and I'm talking to you guys about this because maybe you have an auto. So what I have is an autoimmune disease, and so maybe you have an autoimmune disease, and you're like, I can't take it. I don't know how to deal with it. You don't have to know how to deal with it because the Lord gave it to you for a reason. He said that you could handle it. And so for me, I might be like my brother Paul, my forefather Paul. Like, this might be the thorn in my side. You know what I mean? Because sometimes your girl do get a little bit big headed. I mean, my head already big, but you know what I'm saying? And so maybe this is where, God is like, okay, I'm going to show you through this experience who I really am. And so for me, because I like my skin and my body, like I take good care of it. And so I'm like, experiencing this stuff. I'm like, okay, it started messing with your self-esteem and stuff like that. But you can't be relying on what you look like in order to prove your self-worth. You know what I mean? Because one day you're going to be old. Then what you going to do? But for me, I'm learning through this experience, just how much God is there. And not only how much he's there, but even with all of it and how bad it is, and like, because people in my church, they know, they'll see it, and because I don't hide it. Before I would wear long sleeves, now I don't even hide it. And so it's to the point to where, like, I've had some on my face, and I've been out in public and people are staring. And so I'm just like, well, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't finna hide and, like, try to swoop my head to my hair to the side. I'm not finna do all that, And so for me, what I'm learning is that how awesome and how magnificent God is, because my body, my immune system thinks my skin is a foreign object, but your skin is used to protect your body from foreign objects. And so, my body's releasing these histamines. My body is like, alert. My immune system is like, alert, alert, intruder, intruder. It's all over, intruder, intruder. So it's sending out all this histamine to try to bring it down. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo. So it's just like, how amazing is God that the body that he designed and that he created to override certain functions and override certain things is attacking itself. Y'all might be like, that sounds crazy. But from where I'm at and from how long I've been dealing with it, I'm just like, only a God could do that. Anyway, so fast forward. So I was thinking, like, maybe this is like, I'm like, okay, well, maybe we back on our way, to the hives ramping up. So I'm like, ooh, child, brace yourself. But then I kept looking, and I'm like, it itches. And so I'm on Facebook in some of these keto forums. And so this lady was talking about keto rash. And so I'm like, ooh, that might be what it is. So I was like, well, let me go do some research on my own. So I'll go and I'll research, and so they're saying like keto rash is only on the your torso and on your back and on your arms and on your neck. But they did say that uncommonly it can be on your face. And so I'm like, I'm the uncommon. I was like, I would be that uncommon because it's all on my face. Praise the Lord, I don't have it anywhere else. It's just on my face. And so basically it's been across the country, it's been very, very hot. And so when I started keto, and the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because people ain't talking about this. The only person that I've known from the research that I've done on YouTube is Tippy Tells. She tells about how, she had keto flu, and I believe she said she had keto rash. And so, ain't nobody else really talking about it. They ain't really, they ain't keeping it real on keto. So I was like, well, and I do got clothes on. You see my shirt. So I was like, well, I'll keep it real on keto. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a TV fast anyway, so I might as well come to the people with what I know. Okay? All right, so that's what I'm doing. So, and so sometimes, like how it looked like in Arizona, like how it was like red and blotchy, that's kind of how it looks now. And so when I started keto, I cut my carbs drastically. So I would be between 20 to 25 carbs, but normally I would stay under the 20 net carbs. And so now that I have entered into a certain state of ketosis. And so there's supposed to be like all these levels of ketosis. I'm not. because that's insanity to me. I'm not finna track, oh, well, I'm in ketosis level 1. Okay, chick. I'm in ketosis level 2. I'm not finna do all that. I'm in ketosis. Cool. So what's happening is that my body is getting rid of all these toxins. And so because it's been so hot here and because I sweat, when the sweat touches my face, then it becomes it becomes irritated. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. It's kind of awkward because people looking at you like, okay, what's wrong with your face? Like, what do you have? What's going on with your face? But even outside of that, what I got excited about is like, okay, I'm in a deeper state of ketosis. And so I'm gonna just go ahead since we here, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and keep it real with y'all. So when I started keto in about at week 2, y'all, my breath stank. Okay? It was stank. It didn't stink. It was stank. And I didn't understand what was going on because I don't do stinky breath. You know, I always got some mints, I always got some gum, I always got some candy, I always got something because, you know, I don't want to offend nobody with my breath. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking around with the dragon breath. Y'all, if I was able to, I would put a dragon breathing fire because that's what my breath was like, okay? And so you know how you do that? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you do that. And then I'm not trying to make stop, y'all. I ain't trying to make y'all laugh. But you do that. And then you can taste your breath. Y'all, for them first 2 weeks, week 2, I'm like, ooh, the devil is a lie, you foul spirit. I'm like, what is this? I didn't know that I was entering into ketosis. So then the week 3, my breath began to take on a fruity type tint. But I'm still like, this still is not pleasant. You know what I mean? Because like, you don't want your breath to smell like, you want your breath to smell like fresh. Y'all, please, that thing, it smelled, it was like, I was like, ooh, I'm like, so you go from stank to fruity. So, but back again, I was entering into I was going deeper into ketosis. So finally, like the breath, you know, the keto breath, it has subsided. Around week 1 and week 2, like I was very tired. And because I'm like, you know, people talk about all this energy they got. They're like, oh, I got this energy and I did this, I did that, energy. I ain't had none of that. I was like, look, I ain't trying to do nothing. I'm tired. I don't want no carbs this time, but I'm just tired. You know, truth is I'm tired. Okay? Options are few. All right. So I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't know that I had a symptom of the keto flu because I was expecting, you know, because the way people talk about it on YouTube, they make it so dramatic. And so I'm like, okay, well, I don't have that. I'm just fatigued. Praise the Lord, I didn't have that. You know what I mean? So, so then, you know, week 3, kind of still a little bit tired. And so y'all, this week right here, week 4, this week right here, okay, week 4 going into week 5, y'all, when I say I had so much energy, like I meal prepped. And I'm talking about I did the what's that, spinach and artichoke dip. I did keto biscuits. I did sausage. I was cleaning as I went. Like I started like I don't know you're supposed to fold clothes. Yeah, got it. But I'm folding clothes. Like I'm wiping stuff down and I'm doing all this other kind of stuff. And then too, like because I have so much energy, like in my brain, like it's processing so fast, and it's like it's to me, it seems like it's firing on all cylinders. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you get an oil change and you clean all that gunk out of the system of your car and your car is like riding smoother and it's just like you feel like your AC is, you know, flowing more free, and that's what it's like in my mind. So I literally have yesterday, I had to ask a gentleman, you know, at my church. I was like, can you slow down, please? I was like, because I was like, my brain, you know, can you slow down? Because it's like I catch it and I understand, but it processes so fast. It's like it's gone quick. And so I'm just like, okay, well, this is a positive, you know. I'm like, but I'm gonna need you to slow down when it comes time to do your homework because you have 2 more classes to go. You graduate next month. You gotta graduate. But did you graduate? Did you get your papers? Okay, because that's did you get your papers? Okay, so. You know, so these are the things that I've experienced on keto. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because people, like I said, people ain't, you know, they're glamorizing the good stuff of keto, you know, and I am too. You know what I'm saying? Losing 22 pounds in a month. What? having people tell me that they I got some saggy britches. Y'all, let me tell you about my jeans though. So my jeans, my pockets, they was touching. You know what I'm saying? Cause you know how like you seen them people that have lost, you know, that their pants. I ain't talking about because it's they pants sagging because it's a style, but you know you can tell if they've lost weight, and so like in the butt part, like their pockets are literally touching. My pockets was like, hey. What you doing here? You ain't supposed to be here. How you get here? I was just on the other side like 2 weeks ago. Dennis, I don't know how I got here. All right, sure, I'll talk to you later though. That's what my pockets was saying to each other, y'all. I was like, If y'all saw me with these pants, so y'all be like, Wendy, now you need to do something. So, you know, going from having tight pants to now I got saggy pants and people are commenting on it. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And people are commenting on, you know, they can tell that I'm losing weight. And so one lady at my church, comadre, she was like, you look slimmer and slimmer every day. And I'm like, girl, when you get off your fast, check out my videos, girl. And so basically, you know, I just want to show you guys the real, for me, my truth on keto. You know what I'm saying? And so that way, you know, if you want to start keto and you see that you have these let me tell y'all too, y'all, this week my legs was cramping. So I had noticed that because before when I first started keto, they were like, salt your food, salt your food, salt your food, salt your food. And I remember that from basic training because a doctor in basic training told me to salt my food too. And so, cause you know, you lose so much electrolytes, you lose so much fluid or whatnot, your body, it's hard for your body to reproduce it. So like around week 3, I had stopped salting my food as strongly. So what I would do is I would just take like y'all have seen that little cap that I use. I've taken that cap and I put it like a halfway full of salt, and I'll just put it on my tongue and then I'll chug it with water. Yes, it is nasty. Yes, it is gross. But I didn't have any issues. So my stuff started cramping. I'm like, okay. And so when I wasn't doing the fast, you know, I saw Dr. Ken Berry. Yep, Dr. Ken Berry. Nope, Dr. Berg. Sorry, it was Dr. Berg. He was saying how, you know, cramping and stuff like that is all signs that you don't have much sodium. That noise was my diffuser that my mama bought me. She loved her daughter. She do. Anyway, so I started doing that, and so slowly but surely I'm noticing that the cramping has it's gone away. And so I'm just like, man, I'm like, I need to let the people know, you know, what I'm experiencing, so that way when you start keto, you like, oh no, big win. She told me about that. She told me to do this. So just make sure that you're salting your food. You know what I'm saying? Like if you salted before, you know, just overly salted. You know what I'm saying? They say do salt water. I'm not finna do that. That remind me of when I was little and I would lose a tooth and I would have to use warm, salty water and gargle. I don't want to do that. That's too much. I guess I still do it anyway because I do Anyway, don't mind me. So the reason why I didn't start the fast, the TV fast, is because I had a bad attitude that day. Like I've been for like for about 5 weeks, I've been taking hits. And I'm not talking about somebody physically abusing me, but I'm talking about my second and third dimension. So the first dimension is the spirit, the second dimension is the soul, and the third dimension is the flesh. And I'm not talking about like this flesh right here. So this ain't nothing. This is not my stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm learning at my church. And so the second dimension is your mind, will, intellect, and emotions. I'm a very emotional person. Okay. And then, you know, the flesh is the flesh. And so the flesh is enemy against God. I don't know why. I don't know how to say that word. So the flesh had been taking a beating that day, and my second dimension had been taking a beating that day. But my first dimension was in the back. Yeah, let's go, get it, go. And so I'm like, okay. So when the question was posed, you know, how many people are going to do it? I didn't raise my hand. And so this is on Saturday. Sunday, we're non-denominational Christians. So on Sunday, you know, my pastor, because we have the senior pastor and then we have, you know, overseers and stuff, that's people that are under him. So my pastor, she texted me and asked me if I was going to do the fast. And I was like, nope, I'm not going to do it. So I went back to watching TV. So come Wednesday, you know, the senior pastor, he's talking about it. He's talking about the fast and things of that nature. And, you know, he finally, and I was like, ooh, don't do it. Please don't let him do it. Don't ask. How many of y'all didn't do the fast? And I'm like, And so then he was like, well, if you gonna stand for darkness, he was like, don't be no courageous coward. He was like, if you gonna stand, then stand. And so I'm like, okay, well, because y'all know in my other video I said I'm gonna take a stand against myself. I mean, he said that too. But so now I'm like, okay, so I shot my head up and I had it up and I was very confident in what I said. You confident, foolish person. So basically, I was being led by the flesh. And so for me, he was saying how, I make myself my, in that place, I'm making myself my own God, and I'm bending my knees to myself and I'm praying to myself and, things of that nature. And I'm like, oh, this cannot be. You know what I mean? Like, no, because like God and I, we have a very special relationship. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm like, I love God for real. And so it's in moments like this, and he doesn't do this stuff to embarrass you, like, but you gotta. For me, I need to be called out on my mess. You know what I'm saying? Because your girl, if I ain't called out, I probably just still roll with it. And I appreciate him calling me out because in this moment is allowing me to see how much I love God and how much I love God for real. So this morning I got up, and normally I get up and I turn the TV on. The spirit was like, we ain't watching no TV. And I'm like, okay. So I was bored. So I was like, well, I'm going to sleep my day away. I was like, I got a meeting at 5 on Thursday. I'm going to sleep till 3 o'clock. I told Alexa, I told her to set an alarm. Here she go, watch. She ain't say nothing this time. But so I asked her to set an alarm. She set the alarm, and so I was like, all right, cool. Man, I couldn't even sleep that long. So I was like, man, I gotta get out this house. So I was like, and I need to fellowship with somebody. So I went over, got with my brother. I went to my meeting. I wanted to stay longer because I was enjoying the company of the people. And then I went to my brother's house. We live 5.1 miles away from one another. Won't he do it? Said he would. And so I'm over there and we're fellowshipping and we're shooting videos. Y'all go check out our other channel. Our channel is A Journey with a Brother and a Sister. You got to put all that in there because it's not going to pull up if you don't. But check us out over there. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get some ministering too. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about Jesus. But, we're funny. We talking about, stuff that happened to us as kids and, how God was there and how it's impacting our lives today. And so, so I came home and I was like, man, I'm gonna go to sleep, But then I was just like, I couldn't sleep, because I'm all excited about stuff. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna come at y'all and I'm gonna make a video. And so I am doing the fast. Everybody gets off it on Sunday, but what I've noticed with just in this one day of not watching any TV, no videos, no nothing like that, like on the inside, it's a peace. It's a peace on the inside, like stuff that I would normally be agitated and irritated and just going off all emotionally for no reason in my head. I'm not doing that. And so I'm like, okay, so, because TV, there's so many subliminal messages, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying that I'm like anti-TV. That's not what I'm saying, but in this moment, with the charge that's been given from, by God, I'm just like, well, I love God. And so I don't want there to be anything between he and I. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be his heart, and so I can't be his heart if I'm up here watching TV, you know what I'm saying, and trying to get my, stroking the flesh at the same time. So, that was my reason. I just had all these excuses, you know what I'm saying, which didn't amount to nothing because at the end of the day, only what you do for Christ will last. And so, like I said, the flesh got me out there. The flesh was like, girl, the flesh was trying to talk me up too. And I'm like, where was you at when the man of God was talking to me? Where was you at then, flesh? You was quiet because you knew better. You knew not to raise up. So, I just want to come to you guys with this video about, everything that's going on, everything that's been going on with me on keto. I hope that you learned something from it. If you have any questions in the about section, you can hit me up on that email that's there. And if the email is not there, my email is journeywithwendi@gmail.com. So y'all just check me out, or we can have open dialogue in the comment section. But I'm not gonna quit keto. That's not what I'm finna do. I'm not. And they say up your carbs to like 50 to 100 grams of carbs. I'm not finna do that. The goal is weight loss, and this too shall pass. I've been through worse stuff than having stuff on my face, and the Lord has been there with me through it all. And so he'll be there with me while my skin is itchy and I look crazy. I'd rather look crazy and be slim than to be looking right and be fat, you know. So check out the other channel, Journey with a Brother and a Sister. Like this video, subscribe to this video. Remember that Jesus loves you. And if you don't know Jesus, just, just try him out. Just give him your heart. And with that, I will let you guys go. This is just a bonus video. You know what I'm saying? I told you bonus videos would come. Hopefully they ain't, I ain't showing you other kinds of crazy stuff. But you guys take care, and I will see you in the next video.